All right, well, welcome everyone. I think most of you know me, Rabbi Sanford Akselrad. This is Cantor Jessica Hutchings. And these are our special guests from Israel. Let's give them a round of applause just for being here. First of all, Cantor, tell us how this happened on very short notice.
Well, if you know me, you know that the best way to get my attention is to text me. And thankfully, my friend Yoni texted me on Sunday afternoon and said, I'm bringing 5 Nova survivors to Las Vegas, and would you like to meet them? And if you know me, also you know that I don't, we're not just going out to lunch. This is an opportunity for all of you to bear witness to the tragedy, the horrors that happened in Israel on October 7th, and that we have all been clinging onto and have been in our hearts since that day. And we cannot pass up the opportunity to hear their stories and to bear witness to this experience. We might not be able to physically go there like Rabbi Akselrad did, but even better, they're here with us, and they are being so gracious to give of themselves and their story so that we can be part of it. So I felt very called to action to say, yes, please have them come to our community so that we can hear from them. And just to add on to that, I was even more moved by this whole experience just a few minutes ago when they came into the sanctuary and saw the kidnapped posters that we have had up for all of these months, and identified some of their friends, and some of them who have been freed, thank God, and some who are no longer with us. So, and some who are still there, and they'll talk about that. So it puts actual human beings right here with us to experience this. So I'm really grateful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Cantor. So to start off, please just introduce yourself. We have Amit, Idan, Roei, Israel, and Natan. A couple sentences about where you live in Israel, your age, a little bit about your family. So Karin can translate if we need to, or do your best in English. And pass around the microphones, yeah.
אהלן כולם, קוראים לי עמית, אני בן 25. תגידי לי מתי לקטוע אותי וזה, כאילו תוך כדי? כן. סבבה. קוראים לי עמית, אני בן 25, עשיתי צבא שירות מלא 3 שנים. התחלתי לצאת למסיבות בשנתיים האחרונות. הגעתי לנובה דרך חבר. אני בדרך כלל לא יוצא לפסטיבלים, לא יוצא למסיבות, וזה התחיל ביום שהתחיל מושלם, הגענו משהו כמו 30 חברים לתוך הפסטיבל.
Okay, so it's Amit, he's 25, and when he got out of the army, he started going to parties. He hasn't done it before, and he went to the Nova Festival, and it started as a really beautiful day.
Hey, I'm Idan Itzhaki. I'm 26 old. I live in Jerusalem. I'm a salesman for my job. And I've been in the Nova Festival.
Hi everybody, it's very nice to be here. I am Roei Itzhaki, the youngest brother of Idan. We are brothers, and we've been together in the festival. In Israel, I work at construction before the occasion of the Nova, and now I'm full-time explaining the story, what happened to us, and I'm very glad to be here.
Hey. My name is Israel. I live in Petach Tikva in Israel. Before 7 October, I have a business for Israel. I job air conditioner. And after my business, it's like a dead. And now we're here. We want to talk about my story and story of my friends. So happy to be here.
Hi, my name is Natan. I am 25 years old. I am from Jerusalem, and I like to celebrate in all the festival around the world. In this holiday, I was in two festivals. In one festival before the Nova, it was Unity, then he called Unity, and after this the Nova. And from the Nova, after the Nova, like a couple months, I don't go out and celebrating, and I stop all the festival what I going.
So let's go back to that fateful day, October 7th. It's Simchas Torah. People are joyous. You're at the festival. Who wants to share their story? And then we can add on. Roei, your English is best. So you start. How did the day start off? What were your expectations of the day? And then how did everything change?
Okay. So me and my brother want to celebrate Simchat Torah in Israel. We do it in Israel. We go to celebrate this event. So we decide to go to a party in the south. We arrived about midnight to the party. We've been there for a few hours. And then in 6:30, the rockets start to come, the alarm. We didn't really get it, what's going on. We were a little bit confusing. A lot of people start to run, to fear. And we saw all the rockets in the air, so we just decided to go to the car and just run off from the festival. During the running, me and my brother just got caught with a terrorist that just came right through us with the big heavy machines on trucks, and they just closed on us. They start to shoot to everyone that just been there. Me and my brothers successfully somehow succeed to run from this specific terrorist, and then we run off. Then we run off to the Gaza direction, for just to run off of them. When we try to run off, there were still terrorists at every direction that you look. You just can see terrorists. They just shoot everybody that's been there, with no difference if it's man, woman, the child that will be there. They just shot and tried to kill everybody. It was like a big chaos. My specific story that I ran off with my brother, we arrived until the Gaza fence. We ran like 1 hour until the Gaza fence from the party. When we got to the Gaza fence, there was like a bridge in the fence, and just terrorists saw us, me and my brother were alone in the field over there, and just start to run, to chase us again. They chase us again, and again they shoot us and missed us, and we just start to run off. Okay, just like a routine. We've been like 14 hours in run away from terrorists. After the second escape from the terrorist, me and my brother get to the party itself, where all the parties happen, about 10 in the morning. We just came there, and I saw all the massacre that already been happened, a lot of corpse, a lot of איך אומרים ראשים ערופים? Beheaded. A lot of beheaded people. We just want to get out of there. So we look once again our car that we came to the party with. We there to the party with the car. Somehow we found the car, and we just get inside the car, start to want to start the engine. I just look right, and I just see another terrorist. He see me and my brother. He just reload his weapon, start to shoot at us. He shoot at me and my brother like 50 bullets at our car in a range of 10 meters. And with God's help, he just missed us. Once again, they missed us again. My brother, with his skills, he has skills of driver. He was a military combat driver in the military. He's just somehow try to run off from this terrorist. And then we see, and then I notice, like in a tank of IDF, in a range of 200 meters from us. And I just told him, go to this tank. Maybe in this tank there's a soldier of IDF, and they can help us. Meanwhile, when I said it to him, the terrorists still chasing us. Somehow we do manage to get to the tank. And I see a combat soldier from our military, from IDF, that get us, that we trying to get to the tank. I just opened the door, and I just tell him, eat fire from the back, terrorist chasing me and my brother, eat fire. He gets me, he just shoot the terrorist from behind me, killed him, and me and my brother managed to get to the tank. When I arrived to the tank, I see just horror, just chaos. A lot of girls with bullet shots, a lot of men that are already dead. I'm just trying to do my best, maybe to push on wounds, to give to people water, to do whatever I can. After that, we are still stuck in this tank, and the terrorists just, once again, they are coming from every direction and just trying to kill us. And we found ourselves almost 10 hours in just fight our lives from people with just animals. They are just animals. Sorry. Meanwhile, we are there. They're still trying to kill us. They shoot at us RPGs. They shoot at us thousands of bullets. And somehow, we have been in the tank like 30 people from the Nova. And also a few soldiers of IDF, and then we just fight them, and somehow we succeed. We succeed somehow, and they cannot reach us. They try to reach us. They also successfully shot off some of us, but we're still fighting. We don't give up. After a few hours of this fighting, I get a call from my friend that also come with us to the party. His name is Zeor. It's not here, but he's alive. He called to me and he said to me, Roei, I'm alive. And I thought he's already dead. It was like 5 p.m. It started to get dark. And he told me, Roei, you have to come to save me. I send you a location of my spot. Please come to save me. I opened the location in the WhatsApp, and I just saw is 5 minutes from the tank to Gaza, to the Gaza direction. So it's like if I'm in the middle of a combat zone, of a crazy combat war zone, he is even in a crazier combat zone. I asked who's the main commander over there of the tank. His name was Oren Solomon. I gave him to speak with my friends in the phone, and he just told them that just to come here. He cannot leave, he cannot reach you. Come here. I understand that nobody is going to save my friend. And there is no chance that me and my brother was returning without our friends. We just look in each other's eyes and we say, you know what? We are already here. We're going to save him. We just start to search for a vehicle that works because our vehicles is already been damaged too much to drive. We do find a car, me and my brother, with a key that just someone left in this combat zone. We get on the car, we go this 15 minutes drive to Gaza. In this car, I saw just horror things. I saw a lot of, again, dead bodies, a lot of our soldiers that been killed. And we do manage to reach them, my friend, or we do try to save him. We do successful save him. He get on our car, and we just went off from there. There's also been a few tackles in this run with the terrorists, but also once again they don't get me and my brother and my friend. I try to do my best when I tell you the story, but it's a lot of things that I cannot really tell you because what my eyes saw is just horror. I cannot explain what really happened there. It's too much. They just trying to kill us all just for us being Jews. And it's become a little bit difficult to me, so I stop it here. I very appreciate that you all listen to me, and I'm very glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Natan. אני הגעתי לפסטיבל הנובה, כאילו הגעתי לאזור חניון רעים, שהפסטיבל התקיים ביום חמישי, שהיה שם עוד מסיבה.
He said that he got there a little bit earlier on a Thursday. There was another party going on there.
היינו במסיבה, חגגנו יום חמישי, שישי בערב התחילה המסיבה שלנו בשוב פעם. חגגנו עד סביבות 6:30 לפנות בוקר, כשהתחילו הטילים.
So there was another party, and then the Nova party started, and they were dancing basically all night until 6:30 when the rockets started coming down.
6:30 כשהתחילו הטילים, כולם התחילו להתפנות, נגמרה המסיבה. יצאנו לחנייה, חיכינו, התחיל להיות פקק של רכבים, כי כולם באותו רגע יצאו החוצה.
So once the rockets started, everybody started leaving and going to their vehicle, but there was a huge traffic jam due to the congestion of people leaving.
חיכינו בחנייה משהו כמו 40 דקות, ואז כשאני יצאתי מהחנייה כבר, צד שמאלה לכיוון בריאה חסום, משטרה סגרה אותו, וצד ימין לכיוון רעים היה פקק של מלא רכבים שכבר מחבלים ירו בהם בהתחלה, אז כאילו נחסם הכביש.
So they waited 40 minutes in the parking lot, and on the left side, the police has barricaded the road, so it was not possible to go. And then on the right side, people started leaving, but they were encountering terrorists who were starting to shoot the people. So there was a traffic jam with the stopped cars.
אז אנחנו פשוט התקדמנו עם הרכב שלנו ישר, כאילו, במקום כאילו מהכביש, מהאזור של המסיבה, לכיוון, עברנו את הכביש, לא נכנסנו לכביש, והמשכנו לכיוון השטח.
They bypassed the road and went through the fields.
בשטח אנשים שם בהתחלה לא ידעו מה קורה, רצו, התבלבלו, תוך כדי טילים בשמיים, נופלים. התחבאנו באיזה תעלה כלשהי, עד ששמענו צרור יריות,
ואז אמרנו, וואי, זה מתחיל מסוכן, צריך לחזור לכיוון המסיבה.
So they got on the field, people were running around, there were rockets coming down, and they were hiding in a ditch where they started hearing shooting close to them, and they realized it's getting very serious and dangerous, so they thought they should head back to the party.
כי באותו רגע חשבנו שהאזור של המסיבה זה אזור בטוח, שיש שם שוטרים עם נשקים, אז חשבנו שזה המקום הכי בטוח ללכת אליו.
The party had security guards with weapons, so they figured that must be much safer place to go, and so they decided to go back.
התחלנו להתקדם חזרה עם האוטו לכיוון האזור של המסיבה, זה נסיעה בתוך השטח, נסיעה לא קצרה. ואז הגענו לאיזשהו שלב שבאו רכבים מולנו ונחסמנו, עצרנו, יצאנו מהאוטו, חיכינו שמה, ואז פתאום, תוך שניות, הגיע מכל כיוון, כאילו יריות ברמה ששומעים יריות וגשם של יריות.
So once again, they got stopped. People started coming with the chaos towards them, and they ended up leaving the car, and there was just a parade of shooting at them from all directions.
אז אנחנו רואים פשוט אלפי אנשים שרצים, ותוך כדי יריות, אנשים רצים ונופלים, ישר עלינו על האוטו, פרססנו. תוך כדי שאנחנו עולים, אנחנו ברחנו, והעלינו עוד 3 אנשים באוטו, היינו 7 אנשים באוטו קנטור ממש קטנה.
So the famous videos of people running in the fields and getting shot, he saw that that's what happened. People started running and falling down as they're being shot, so they realized they have to go back to the car, and they started driving and picking up people along the way to come into their car. They picked up 3 passengers.
ואז תוך כדי יריות שלא מפסיקות, אנחנו נוסעים בשטח, ממשיכים לברוח מהשטח, ואז הצלחנו לברוח מהשטח, יצאנו לאיזה כביש, ואז אנחנו עושים כל הכביש, אנחנו רואים בצדי הכביש רכבים, גופות מצד הרכבים, ואנחנו מתקדמים תוך כדי בריחה, ועדיין כאילו שומעים יריות ברקע.
They managed to bypass and go on the road, and on the road they found cars along the way with bodies shot outside all over the area. And while all of this is going and they're trying to get away, they're being shot at from all directions.
ואז בסוף הכביש ראינו כמה שוטרים צעקו, היו עבודים, אמרו להם מה לעשות, לאן לברוח מכאן, לאן להמשיך מכאן. אז אמרו לנו לברוח לכיוון בסיס צאלים, שזה קצת יותר רחוק.
They encountered some police officers and they asked them where they should go, and they suggested they should go to the closest army base, Tehelim, and they decided to go there.
ואז פשוט המשכנו לנסוע לנסיעה, ברחנו לכיוון בסיס צאלים. איך שהגענו לבסיס צאלים, ממש בכניסה לבסיס נפל טיל.
As they started driving towards the army base, and just as they entered the base, a big rocket fell right in front of them.
ואז החיילים בבסיס הכניסו אותנו לבסיס, היינו, כאילו, התחבאנו שם בסביב המיגוניות, שכל הזמן יש צבע אדום, אנחנו יוצאים מהמיגונית, חוזרים למיגונית.
They were let in the army base by the soldiers, and meanwhile they go inside to the shelter and outside the shelter because there are rockets being sent there all the time.
ואז שם בעצם התחלתי להבין מה קרה, שאני רואה שחברים שלי לא עונים לי, ואף אחד לא יודע איפה הם, והיינו שם כמה שעות, ואז במהלך השעות גם התחלתי לשמוע על חברים שכבר יודעים עליהם שנהרגו.
While he's in the army, he started processing what is happening and started to realize that some friends are not answering. He tried to reach out. Some people didn't answer. Some people answer and let him know that close people to him have been killed.
היינו שם בבסיס צאלים עד שעות הערב, ואז הצבא אמרו לנו שאפשר לצאת לכיוון באר שבע, ועד משם נסענו לירושלים.
So they spent the rest of the day there in the army base where they were protected, even though there were still rockets all around. And then after 6 hours and towards the evening, the army has cleared a path and they were allowed to leave and go towards more in the middle of Israel, towards Be'er Sheva.
ואז שחזרתי הביתה, אני הייתי כמה ימים בבית, כל היום בוכה, לא יוצא מהבית, והיה לי גם הרבה חברים שעדיין נהדרים, כאילו לא ידעו מה עלה בגורלם.
When he got home, it was very hard. He had to process. He spent many of the days, not only crying, but trying to find people. He couldn't hear from people. He couldn't recount from a lot of people. He couldn't get in touch with them.
זה לקח, החברים הקרובים שלי, שלקח משהו כמו 1.5 שבוע עד שידעתי מה כל אחד עלה בגורלו, חלק מתו, חלק נרצחו. חלק נחטפו, רק בשבוע וחצי הייתי כאילו יום לוויה, יום, כל פעם הייתי...
It took him a week and a half to start sorting out things, and he spent this week going to funerals and finding out some of his friends were kidnapped, some of them were dead, some were injured, and he spent the week processing what he went through and supporting his close ones.
ואחרי כל מה שקרה, עזבתי את העבודה שלי בארץ, היינו כאילו, החודשים האחרונים ממש הייתי לא בטוב כל הזמן בבית, וממש לפני חודש וחצי הזמינו אותנו פה לריטריט בקליפורניה.
He had to leave his work. It was very hard, the impact of what happened. And just now they were invited to a treat in California, in which a therapeutic treat, in which they're processing everything they went through.
ואז אחרי שבוע וחצי של ריטריט, שקצת התרפאנו, אז החלטנו להמשיך לספר לאנשים מה עבר עלינו, מה אנחנו חווים, מה היה.
So part of the therapeutic process following the retreat in California is the idea of bearing witness and testament and going around as part of the healing process and telling people what they went through.
זה מחמם את הלב לראות את האכפתיות של כולם. תודה רבה.
He says that it's heartwarming to see the care that everybody has, and thank you for coming here tonight to hear him.
שלום, מה נשמע? אני ישראל. הייתי עם החבר שלי עמית במסיבת הנובה. היה תקופה מאוד ארוכה שלא יצאנו למסיבות. יצאנו אחד לשני ככה ללכת לבלות, אחרי תקופה ארוכה של עבודה קשה.
So him and Amit decided after a long period in which they worked really hard and haven't gone out really to do something different and go out to the party.
הגענו למסיבה בערך בשעה 5 בבוקר, 4:30. הגענו ממש על זה, התחלנו לסדר את הדברים, פגשנו את כל החברים שלנו, היה ממש כיף לראות את כולם.
They got there at 5 in the morning, they set up all their stuff, they got to see all their friends, and it was nice to hang out with all their friends that they haven't seen in a long time.
ישבנו, שתינו כולם ביחד, נכנסנו למסיבה, התחלנו לבלות, ליהנות, לחייך כולם אחד לשני, כמו שאנחנו תמיד אוהבים לראות את כולם, מחייכים, שמחים. ואחרי בערך שעה וחצי שהיינו שם, פשוט הסתובבתי לשמיים וראיתי פשוט טילים בשמיים, ואמרתי לכל החברים שלי, וואי, תראו, יש זיקוקים.
So they started to party, the party started, and they all started dancing around, and about an hour and a half around, when the party was going on, he turned around and they looked in the sky, and he said, wow, look at this firework, how cool. He thought it was part of the festival, that there were fireworks going on.
מיד אחרי זה כבר התחילו להכריז ברמקולים להתחיל להתפנות ולהתחיל לפנות את שטח המסיבה. ואני בתור בן אדם שגדל בנתיבות, נתיבות זה נמצא בדרום, קרוב לעזה, מתמימות וגם חוסר פחד, כי גדלתי על זה שתמיד יורים עלינו טילים וכל זה, פשוט עמדתי וחיכיתי שכולם ילכו וכולם נבהלו מאוד, כי לא היו רגילים לזה.
So he's from Netivot, which is close to Gaza. People from Netivot are used to being rockets. When we hear about people in the south suffering from rockets, that's one of the cities. So he's used to the rockets being shot, and so when the head speakers, people said that they should evacuate because the rockets being shot, for him it was usual, he was accustomed to it. So he said, even naively, I didn't get very excited and I let everybody else kind of leave.
3 בחורים שישבו מאחורינו, ממש היו בקנטה מאחורינו, ראיתי אותם גם בסטלה וזה, ואמרתי להם, יאללה, תתחילו להתפנות גם. והם אמרו, כאילו, אנחנו מסדרות, אנחנו רגילים לטילים, זה לא מפחיד אותנו, אנחנו נשארים פה עד שכולם ילכו כמוני. לא ראיתי אותם מאז, ומסתבר אחרי זה גם ששלושתם נהרגו.
So 3 people sitting behind him, they were relaxed just like him, and he said to him, hey, guys, we should probably evacuate. And they said, no, we're used to it. We're also from the south. We live by Gaza. We're cool. And he said that he found out later that all 3 of them were killed.
אני ועמית התחלנו להבין שזה לא סתם טילים וצריך להתחיל לברוח. התחלנו לקפל את כולם לכיוון האוטו. היו כאלה שהיו קצת שיכורים מדי, היה קשה לקחת אותם לאוטו, לא הבינו את הסיטואציה. והגענו לאוטו, פשוט התחלנו לצאת איתו.
So they started to understand that it's a serious, a dire situation, and they started packing everything up and finding their car. He says because it was a party, everybody was partying. Some people were a little intoxicated and they weren't aware of what's going on, and they had to pack them in and kind of get into the car and start leaving.
נסענו לכיוון הכביש שממנו יוצאים. משם בעצם ראינו שהכל חסום. כל הרכבים, כמו שהוא אמר, בעצם הכל היה חסום, רכבים שבעצם ירו בהרבה אנשים שם, לא היה אפשר לעבור, ברחנו ברגל.
So they got out of the car and just, I'm sorry, names are coming out, just like Natan said, the cars were all stopped, there was traffic, some cars were being shot at, and so they decided if they should abandon the car and go by foot.
התחלנו לברוח ברגל, בערך איזה שעה שברחנו לפה ולכל הכיוונים פשוט שהיה. ברגע שראינו שגם השוטרים וגם ההבטחה היחידה שהייתה איתנו לא יודעת מה לעשות ואומרים לנו אנחנו לא יודעים, הבנו שחייב לחזור לרכב ולנסות איכשהו לברוח. והתחלנו לברוח לכיוון, פתחנו פשוט מפות בטלפון והתחלנו לברוח לכיוון ההפוך מעזה.
So once they started walking around, they started realizing that the security people and the people who were in charge there, they weren't sure what to do, what's going on themselves, and they realized that they have to get out of there, and they opened up their maps on the phone and they were trying to navigate out of the area as best as they can.
בדרך משם נסענו לכיוון נתיבות, כי זה הדרך שהכרתי. הרבה רכבים שרופים, הרבה אנשים אירועים, הרבה דברים שמאוד העין שלנו לא רגילה לראות.
So going out, he went the way back home to Netivot. He knew the roads very well. He says that along the road they saw burnt cars and bodies and things that the eyes should not see and are not accustomed to see.
בדרך לשם ראינו בסיס של חיילים כזה, שיש שם גם מזל"ט ומיגונית, שפשוט היה נטוש, כאילו החיילים או נחטפו או לא יודע מה קרה שם. חיפשנו מים, משהו רגע להרגיע את הגוף, וחשבנו להישאר במיגונית הזאת. אחד החברים אמר שלא נשאר שם וברחנו, ובסוף מסתבר גם שבתוך המיגונית הזאת היה הרבה הרוגים, אנשים שנשארו שם.
So they found the army base, and the army base was abandoned. They weren't sure if the soldiers were killed or kidnapped, but they did find a shelter in there, and they were wondering if they should stay in the shelter or should go. And one of his friends said, no, we should not stay and we should go. And he said that later on, a lot of people that decided to stay in that shelter were killed.
נסענו לכיוון נתיבות, הגענו, ראינו הרבה מחסומים בדרך, לא ידענו מה משטרה, מה לא, כי באמצע הזה אנחנו מקבלים מלא סרטונים לטלפון, שיש בסדרות הרוגים, שיש מחבלים ברחובות, שיש חטופים, חברים שלנו לא עונים לנו. רציתי להיכנס להורים שלי, אבל ההורים שלי, פחדתי כאילו להיכנס ולהביא להם. היינו בערך, אספנו בדרך, היינו 11-12 איש באוטו, כאילו, באוטו של 6 אנשים.
So they're on the road, and while they're driving, they're getting to their phone messages with videos of what's going on, and people. He's getting also text messages that in his town there are terrorists walking around shooting, and it's dangerous. And he was wondering if he should go to his parents' house, but they've managed to cram inside that car 11 people. 11 people, and just a side note, cars in Israel tend to be much, much smaller than the ones we have here, and they managed to cram 11 people in there.
בקצרה, מפה היה לנו בעצם דרך מאוד מפותלת, הרבה מראות קשים בדרך, הרבה דברים מאוד כואבים. ממש באותו הזמן, גם כשכבר התחלנו לצאת מהאזור, אני מרים שיחה לאחי שהוא גם פרמדיק וגם לוחם בצבא, והוא אומר לי, ואני סיפרתי לו בעצם שהייתי במסיבה, המשפחה שלי לא ידעה שהייתי במסיבה, והוא פשוט אמר לי, אני פה, אני הגעתי לפה, ואני אוסף פה גופות בלי הפסקה, אני לא מאמין שהיית פה.
So while he's doing this, he's picking up the phone and calling his brother, who's a paramedic. He said that nobody knew he was in the party, and he was telling his brother, and his brother says, I can't believe it, I am actually at the party, and I am picking up copious amount of bodies all over. He's tending to them and taking care of them.
וזהו, ומאז בעצם הגענו לבית, וכל הבשורות הרעות הגיעו לנו. הבנו שהרבה חברים, יש לנו חברים חטופים, ויש הרוגים, ואנחנו הבנו בעצם מה קורה. כולם דיברו על 50 הרוגים, 100 הרוגים, אנחנו ידענו שזה סדר גודל אחר לגמרי.
So he got home and he started realizing the amount of people that are missing, kidnapped, friends that are dead. And at this time of the news, they're talking about 50 people maybe dead, but he understood that the numbers are much, much greater, and what a big event, a catastrophe that is happening.
וזהו, ומאז אני אישית על עצמי, אני בן אדם שכל יום עובד, בן אדם מאוד פעיל וזה, אני לא חזרתי לעבוד מאז, היה לי מאוד קשה. גם מהידיעה שהרבה חברים שלי לא חזרו לעצמם, וגם כי אנחנו בעצם מנסים לטפל בעצמנו ולחזור להיות נורמטיביים. ומקווה בעזרת השם שכל החטופים יחזרו בשלום. וזהו, שמחתי להיות פה.
So he said he's a very active person. He's used to working and being very, very active and out and about. And he says that ever since then, it's been really a big struggle. Not only do they have to take care of themselves, but they take care of their friends and their well-being. They have friends that are missing, that are kidnapped, and they had to take care of them and take care of themselves. And he wants to thank everybody who came here to listen to him today.
So this is a broad question. Maybe you can translate to them. How do you think this experience is going to change Israel? Very big question, like the day after, like now and in the future. That's the big question, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. The big question is, how has this experience changed Israel now and tomorrow? How is this going to reshape Israel in its sense of self?
תראי, אני חושב שלפני זה הייתה סוג של אשליה בישראל. אני חושב שלפני זה היה סוג של אשליה בישראל, כי באמת האנשים כמוני, כמו חמישתנו, שאנחנו מייצגים משהו, באמת האמנו שאפשר כאילו להאמין בטוב ולחיות בשלום וזה, ואחרי מה שקרה, פשוט זה התפוצץ לנו בפרצוף. מה שנקרא הקונספציה בעצם. ואני חושב שלחיות בישראל, רק עכשיו אנחנו מבינים איזה זכות גדולה זאת, באמת, שגם חמשתנו ששירתנו בצבא, שאנחנו מבינים שאנחנו נלחמים פה על משהו יותר גדול, וזה באמת זכות כל כך גדולה להיות ישראלי, למען העתיד שלנו, ולמען כל היהדות עצמה.
Wow, so it's a big answer to a big question. So first of all, there's a loss of innocence, the idea that it kind of blew up in their face. They all believed in coexistence and peace and really wanted it and believed in it. And that possibility kind of got lost with that day. But there was something else. They realized, they all went to the army, and they all realized after this what a privilege it is to be an Israeli, to live in Israel, and to fight for Israel, and to be a Jew.
All right, you're challenging me here with these questions. So a lot of, actually several of your questions were answered in Roei's answer just now. I think some people are curious about the Nova Festival itself. What kind of music was this festival, so that people can better understand?
איזה מוזיקה, הם רצו לדעת קצת על הפסטיבל, מה זה הפסטיבל הזה ואיזה מוזיקה הייתה שם.
אז ככה, הפסטיבל הזה זה היה הדבר הכי טוב שקרה בישראל. האנשים הכי יפים שאפשר לראות זה היה שמה. בדרך כלל אני לא יוצא למסיבות, כאילו, אני בערים, מועדונים, לא משהו שהוא פסטיבל גדול. הגעתי לשמה, כל מי שאתה רואה אותו מחייך אליך, אתה רואה אותו מחבק אותך, אתה רואה אותו אוהב אותך. ופתאום לראות את הרעש שמתחלף בשנייה, זה הדבר שכאילו אני אזכור לכל החיים. וזה קשה לראות אנשים שמחייכים אליך, ודקה אחרי אתה רואה תמונה שהוא חטוף. זה לא הגיוני. והפסטיבל הזה, אני עדיין אמשיך לצאת לפסטיבלים, זה לא יעצור אותנו, ובעזרת השם שנמשיך לרקוד שוב.
בעצם הפסטיבל הזה זה בעצם פסטיבל של טרנס, שזה בעצם מה שמבטא את החופש ואת האהבה ואושר, וזה בעצם המהות של פסטיבל טרנס. וזה גם מה שאנחנו, וזה מה שכל מי שהיה בנובה, וכל בן אדם שהיה בנובה, זה בעצם מה שהוא חיפש. לאהוב ולשמוח, וזה פשוט התפוצץ לו בפנים.
So what I hear them saying and again, most of them are not partygoers. They're not usually going out to festivals like this, but this was a very unique festival in Israel. It was a festival, it's a trance festival, trance music, and it symbolizes love, freedom, openness. And how they described it is that when you go to that festival, everybody smiles at you and hugs you and opens their heart and arms to you. And it's almost the epitome of innocence and beauty and acceptance. And he said that it was corrupted by pure evil. Pure beauty was overtaken by pure evil. And to see people that you just hugged a few minutes ago on posters of kidnapped people was forever stay with him. But he said that they're not going to let that break their spirit ever.
So I know that you've both told us that it's not going to break your spirit, that you're grateful to live in Israel. But there's a feeling, I think, that those of us in the diaspora feel, and what I'm seeing in a lot of these questions, is about, do you feel safe when you're home now? Was that taken from you, the feeling of safety?
תקשיבי, אז אין ספק שהתחושה של הביטחון קצת התערערה, באמת, זה כמו שאמרתי, יש דבר שנקרא קונספציה. מה שחשבנו, שהם בעצם רוצים לחיות איתנו בשלום, והם פשוט להתפוצץ לנו בפנים. אבל מה שכן, אני יכול להגיד, שאנחנו בלב שלם מאמינים בחיילים שלנו, בצבא שלנו, במשטרה שלנו, זה החברים שלנו, זה המשפחה שלנו, האחים שלנו, ואנחנו יודעים שהם יעשו הכל בשביל להגן עלינו, ולהגן על המדינה הנפלאה שלנו, ובלב שלם אני אומר את זה, שאני מרגיש בטוח, שאני יודע שזה האנשים שיש מאחוריי, שמגנים עליי.
So I said that there's no doubt that something changed. Mainly the belief in the ability to coexist and live in peace, that was definitely undermined. But he says this with 100%. He believes in his safety in Israel. He believes in his friends in the army and the police. He feels that Israel is a safe place.
When I was in Israel a few weeks ago, there was the question, do we eliminate Hamas? Do we save the hostages? And it was a pushback. Tell me, has the meter changed? Because sometimes those two goals are at odds.
אז אני מבין שזה מה שהוא אמר, זה בעצם זה דבר שמאוד מתנגש. מצד אחד צריך להביס את חמאס ולנצח, ומצד שני זה האחים שלנו שם, המשפחה שלי שם, המשפחה שלנו שם. ומה בעצם כאילו השאלה?
הוא שאל איפה אתה עומד עכשיו, מה אתה חושב על זה?
מה אני חושב על זה? אני חושב שצריך למצוא באמת את דרך האמצע פה. אני מבין שזה לא שאלה שאני יכול לענות על זה, זה בדרג יותר גבוה ממני כנראה, אבל אחד משמעית צריך להחזיר את החטופים, וכל אחד ואחד שחטוף שם הוא פשוט אח של כולנו, אחות של כולנו, ולפי דעתי זה בסדר עדיפויות, וכמובן אחרי זה להשמיד את חמאס לגמרי, כי מי שעושה דבר כזה לעם היהודי פשוט לא, אין לו שום זכות קיום.
So he said, although he leaves those decisions for military ranks, but as far as he's concerned, every single person there is our sisters, our brothers who are there, and its number one priority should be to bring them back home. And after that, he says anybody who wants to destroy the Jewish people should not have the right to exist. מישהו אחר רוצה?
בהתחלה בפסטיבל הזה נסענו משהו כמו 25 אנשים, חזרנו 22 אנשים, חבר אחד יוסף חיים אוחנה הוא חטוף, מי השם גם הייתה בעזה והשתחררה, אליה כהן גם הוא חטוף, וצריך להחזיר אותם הביתה עכשיו, בלי משחקים, לעשות את הפעולה הזאת, ושכל העולם ידע שהם חטופים.
So he was showing pictures. Some of them of the hostages have returned. Some of them are there. They went 25 to the party and they returned 22 people. And he said that there should be no doubt. It's not a question. Every single one of the hostages need to come back home.
You guys all have great questions. I don't think we're going to get into the weeds of the political questions just out of sake of time, but they can answer some questions for you after, potentially when you come to say hi. I just want to let you know. I think there's some questions. There might be people here who have never been to Israel or don't know the culture in Israel. However, I do want to say to you that all of us, when we speak about the hostages, what happened, we say our family, our friends, because even though we're far away geographically, we feel part of Israel, like we are Israel. And so we want you to know that we feel that too. However, Medinat Yisrael is far away. So some people don't really understand the culture. So one of the questions that came up a couple of times was, were any of the people in the crowd at the festival armed did they have guns? I think I know the answer to this, but I want you to answer this for them. So they want to know if there's people that they carry their guns with them when they go places. They want to know if that's common in Israel and if that existed at the party.
הם שרו במסיבה, אנשים הגיעו עם נשקים למסיבה הזאת.
היה איסור לנו, בתור כל מי שבא למסיבה, אסור להגיע לנשק. הייתה חברת אבטחה חיצונית, והיו שם שוטרים בשכר. פשוט אסור להכניס למסיבות נשקים, ובישראל כן יש אנשים שמסתובבים עם נשק ביום יום, אבל זה למטרת הגנה עצמית, כי יש הרבה אנשים בישראל, הרבה ערבים, שעושים פיגועים על בסיס יומיומי, ובעצם מי שמציל נשק יכול להציל חיים. ואת רואה, כמו שקרה לנו, יכול להיות שאם אנחנו היינו מחזיקים נשק, אז יכול להיות שהכל היה נראה אחרת, והייתי מצליח להציל חברים שלי.
So in Israel, in the party, this party hired an outside security company. No weapons were allowed inside the party. You were not allowed to enter with weapons into the party. In fact, he says, had they been allowed to bring weapons, maybe the outcome would have been different. But there is something now that in Israel people walk around with weapons. That is because we have a lot of, it's prominent to have terrorist attacks with people using, terrorists using guns, and it's citizens who protect other citizens who stop these attacks usually.
All right, well, because we only have time for one more question, I'm going to go to one that 6 of you asked, same question. What is the best way that we can help here in the diaspora in the United States? What can we do for you, for Israel?
אני חושב שהדבר הכי טוב שבאמת אפשר לעשות, זה באמת להסתכל עלינו ולראות שיש פה פשוט 5 חבר'ה, בני 25, בשיא של החיים שלהם, שפשוט הכל התפוצץ להם בבום. ולזכור שאנחנו בישראל, מהחינוך שלנו, מגיל 0, אנחנו רק מתעסקים בשלום, בסובלנות, באהבה, בהכלה של הבן אדם האחר, השני, באהבת הכלל, וכל מה שאנחנו רוצים זה אהבה. ובאמת להסביר את האמת, לדעת שבעצם להיות הנציגים שלנו בעולם, לזה שאנשים בישראל רוצים שיהיה טוב בעולם ולא מחפשים שום דבר אחר.
So he says one of the best thing is look at them and see that and bear witness to their story. He says that in Israel, from the moment they're born, they're raised to love and to be peaceful and to be understanding. And that's where Israel comes from. And he asked that you be the ambassador of that. Explain what Israel is about. They were taught to love and to accept and to tolerate. And he says we're 25-year-olds, 26-year-old at the peak of our lives. And it was taken in 1 second. The joy was taken from us. And he asked that we all explain that Israel is about love and tolerance.
Amit, Idan, Roei, Israel, Natan, Karin, thank you. All of you very, very much. And thank you for being here to bear witness. Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Can you do it?
Okay. I might need your help. I don't know if I can sing right now.
כל עוד בלבב אל אימה ולפתי מזרח קדימה, עין לציון צופיה. עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים.
Thank you. תודה רבה.